Don't you guys feel that some of the coolest cars get canceled? Like Albert Hinkey was originally canceled, Clayton Gentlebreeze, Sid Vanderkamper, Trev, of course the circus cars were originally canceled before being eventually released. And those are some of the best releases, I think, in the entire Cars line. And Steve Hearsell, fortunately, wasn't canceled. But on the flip side of that, I feel like I have been fortunate enough to get some of the prototypes of some of the coolest releases Mattel has done, like Race Damage Mood Springs. I have a Rhonda prototype we'll get to. Of course, we did Globy, and now Steve Hearsell, who's one of the most iconic releases, I'd say, in recent years from Mattel. It might even be the best release they've done lately, along with like Rowdy Revan Bush. And I've talked about this before. I talked about this in my original review of Steve Hearsell, however you want to pronounce it. I think he's on the tier of Race Damage Mood Springs in terms of uniqueness. Now, granted, he's not going to be that rare or anything like that, but really happy that Mattel ventured out and was able to do this hearse. Really impressed that they went out and did that, because it's kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a risk. There were some rumblings long ago that Matchbox stopped doing their hearse because it was too morbid. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's a car, man. It's a car. It's part of life. Come on, right? Get over it. So yeah, guys, welcome back to Prototype Prestige. I believe this is episode 10. This will probably be the final episode of this second batch here, where you guys see this background here. I'll probably switch it up for the next few episodes. But yeah, like I said a couple episodes ago, I record these in batches. Just, makes it so much easier doing it that way. And yeah, hopefully you've been enjoying the series so far. I really intend for this to be a series of much longevity. I have a lot of prototypes to review, as you guys know, and so, I didn't really change out these guys up here. I probably should do that, so let me do that real quick. This is going to be a nice little prototype tease for you guys. Yeah, who cares about that one in the middle? That's just the Jackson Storm one. I don't really like that one. And let's do Petrov Trunkov here. I like this one. Okay. Sweet. Let's dive in here. So this is a Thailand prototype acquired off eBay. Again, to reiterate what I've been talking about lately, we know this is a Thailand prototype because of the tan base and this little sticker that they placed on his roof. Now, oftentimes you'll see this on the base, taped right there. Here's another example. Those indicate that it's a Thailand prototype. And I guess sometimes, it'll get taped up to the top as well. So that's also a possibility, even though they, for whatever reason, stopped right before it said made in. Like, made in where? I find that very interesting that they don't type the whole thing out. Like, it's obvious. We know it's from Thailand, right? It's not like, I don't know. They aren't trying to convey this to anyone, right? Like, they don't need to tell people where a prototype's made, because they don't intend on selling prototypes and they don't think prototypes are supposed to be leaked to the public. So that part makes sense. But like, why just stop there? Like, if you're going to print all of the rest of this stuff on the base, you might as well print the Thailand part just to see how it looks, see if it fits where you want to put it on the base. Like, it really mind boggles me that some of the prototypes I have are made in blank. I don't know. It really does mind boggle me. But yeah, you could see the product code FLL74, which is likely to be on here as well. And yep, sure enough, in the top left there, FLL74. EP, don't know what that means. Something prototype maybe. 07.03, so that's probably July 3rd. I don't know what the text right above that means, but it's kind of cool, like we were able to do on Holly Schiffwell, decipher a few insights from those stickers. Now, this prototype, unlike a lot of the ones I have, is in very, very good condition. There are a couple chips here and there, and there's like a little crack in his back window there, but overall, it's a gorgeous prototype in phenomenal condition. I'm very grateful for that, even though, as I've said before, having the damage gives it a little bit more charisma, a little bit more personality. But yeah, doing a comparison between these two, and by the way, we are pretty confident, or at least I'm pretty confident, that this is a prototype of regular Steve Hearsell and not the Hot Rod version, just based on the timing. I don't know. I guess it really could be either. It's tough to say though. I'm pretty sure though. Let's check the code. So that's FLL774. Oh my god, I can't read. They both are FLL74. I don't know, guys. It honestly could be the Hot Rod version. It really doesn't matter because the Hot Rod version is the exact same, just with those purple flame decals. This is one of my favorite prototypes though. Even though it's not super colorful, I just love the novelty of having the prototype of the hearse. So you have the red side view mirrors, which has been pretty common over the last few prototypes. He has the tan base, of course. This bumper here is a separate piece from the base, in fact, and so is this back bumper as well, which is the same on the real version. You can see this gray piece is different from this gray piece, and that's different from this gray piece. These fins here are metal, but they're separate from the main metal body, which is interesting. I feel like that would be difficult to do and kind of wasteful instead of making them one whole piece, but you can see that here on the prototype, and they're actually kind of loose on mine. I don't want to move them too much, but you can see the wiggle room there. Beautiful. You can see the hearse emblem there up top. Now, one interesting thing that's different between these two is that the finalized version obviously has this textured roof here to emulate real-life hearses, and yet the prototype version is just smooth, like a regular old car, which makes sense. Like, again, you would probably not find a prototype with the textured part, but I don't know. Maybe you would, though, because they want to make sure they get this right. It's not like they do textured roofs on every car, so it's something new and probably something they'd want to test out. So I am a little surprised about that. Plus, this feels plastic to me. This definitely has a plastic feel to it, whereas this is clearly metal. So it's interesting. Did they switch it? Everything else seems like modeled the same, like it's all shaped the same. I was trying to say everything seems to be, you know, structured similarly. I've recorded like 5 videos back to back, so that's why I'm getting a little woozy. Anywho, on the back here, you have the trunk handle on that kind of triangular type logo. And then his license plate is Grim Grin. That's a reference to grim grinning ghosts, which is kind of like a trope that Disney's used before with like the Haunted Mansion rides in the Disney parks. I like how these hearses have like 4 exhaust pipes. You can see how there's 2 there, 2 there. I like that detail a lot and happy that Mattel applied it to their own version. You can see the rims are the exact same. They're just unpainted. Yeah, I have to say I eat my words. Like, I did not think Mattel was going to release a hearse just because I heard that they stopped doing the Matchbox one, too morbid, too grim, and then they end up doing this, and they literally put grim on the license plate. Love it, Mattel. Love it. And yeah, just for funsies, here's the Hot Rod version, even though, again, this is a really lame release in my opinion. They could have at least changed its expression. I also don't think it's a necessary release because it doesn't appear, it doesn't, yeah. It doesn't. I was combining doesn't and is. It doesn't. We're going to roll with that. It doesn't appear in the movie or the post-credits at all. Like when the other Hot Rod characters appear, like River Scott, Junior Moon, and Louise Nash, they all appear in the post-credits sequel. Oh my gosh, guys. The post-credit sequence. Hot Rod Steve here obviously doesn't. Like, he's just kind of like a background car that you see, you know, driving into the Florida 500. So yeah, it's really odd to me that they decided to make a Hot Rod version of him. It's even odder that they canceled him in 2019 and then eventually did him in 2021. Like, I don't know. Mattel. We'll never be able to understand you. Shouldn't even try. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below. What is your favorite version of Steve? I mean, I don't know. I prefer the regular version, but some people might prefer the flaming version. It's kind of an interesting question, actually. I feel like most people would say the flaming version because it's a little bit more exciting, but I prefer the simpler version, especially because these flames don't even look super great. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Prototype Prestige, and I'll see you guys soon for another one. Bye now.